Is there a hint that Homeland Security might have lost this case brought by the Heritage Foundation for the release or publication of Prince Harry's immigration documents to the United States? Maybe, but we'll get into that in this video. Now, for this, I have Steph the Alternate to thank for that. I'll link her video in the description below. And, of course, her guest lawyer, John Witherspoon, who gave his thoughts on it. So I'm going to give my thoughts on it here, too. Now, the bit that they were talking about here was from the Heritage Foundation lawyer, Samuel Dewey, who, first of all, is quoted to say, well, first of all, if you're not familiar with what happened, see my previous video, but there was confidential orders made up, which terminated the case, and no one really knows why. And so everyone's obviously speculating as to why, but obviously there's a hint of secrecy about this whole thing. So that's kind of the point here. So Samuel Dewey is quoted to say here, there's no indication of who won the case. In these types of cases, there are unusual facts like this one. This is not an unusual thing to have a sealed order. There could be very good reasons for it to be sealed, regardless of who won. And so it doesn't matter who won, the judge. It would be the same here in England and Wales. Judge could make confidential orders if necessary. This is not weird or suggestive of anything untoward. Just to prevent outright speculation there. But here's an interesting thing that Steph picked up, put to her lawyer guest, John Witherspoon. So I'll give my thoughts on this as well. Samuel Dewey here says, the order could have been sealed to stop the public finding out about Harry's visa status before Homeland Security had a chance to appeal, thus negating the point of appeal. He said, there's another step in the proceedings. This is another step in the proceedings in an unusual case. The only thing that it tells us is that we'll know what the decision is soon, probably in a week or two. It could go either way. So my thought on this is not that Dewey here was making a hint at what he thinks has happened. It's pure speculation. But it is, of course, a possibility. Because if you think about this logically, if they lost the case, as in if Homeland Security lost the case and the judge had indeed ordered the publication or release of Prince Harry's immigration documents or application or whatever, we don't know what exists, but whatever those documents are, if any, which they won't confirm exist or not, if the court did order the release or publication of those, then obviously any appeal would be pointless because the cat's out of the bag. Everyone would know, everyone would have seen. And so any appeal would obviously be appealing to redact from public view something that has already been seen. And so that's just not going to happen. Once it's out in the open, that's it. So that could be one of the explanations. Now, on the balance of probabilities, what do I think? Well, if Homeland Security had won the argument and the judge had ordered, no, I'm not going to order the release of these documents, they're not going to be made public, then I don't really see the need for a confidential order, a sealed order, unless, of course, there's something within the order that would give away what the immigration documents were or whatever. But even then, there might be, or really ought to be, some document to say, regardless of whether they exist or not, the court doesn't order their release. But it's difficult to see how they would do that if they want to avoid saying what documents exist or not, and whether to disclose or the disclosure of them or not. So it's a bit weird. So it could still go either way. It does slightly lean towards Homeland Security lost and the judge ordered publication. I've said in previous videos that I think, given the publication of Spare and the interviews and the all documentaries, everything that Prince Harry's done and the admissions he's made publicly, willingly, I think then it's going to be difficult for him to rely on arguments of privacy to prevent those documents from being published. But they are very different. They are documents of immigration. They are very personal. So it could still go either way. My gut feeling was that it was going to be difficult for him to argue. Not that he's arguing it. It's Homeland Security arguing that, really on his behalf, that they shouldn't be released. And so I've said before, I think it's going to be a difficult argument to make, to rely on privacy when he's been so open about all of this. But even then, it is still a matter of different documents, immigration documents. But that is an interesting point raised there. It could be sealed to prevent the documents being public before Homeland Security has any chance to appeal, thus negating the point of an appeal. Let me know what you think. That was just a very quick video to give you my thoughts on that. So thanks to Steph. Hope she's well. I'll link her video in the description below. Go and watch it. There's very much more discussion there than I've said here. But let me know in the comments what you think. And as always, thank you for watching.